Okay, here we are back at home. I'm going to disassemble the rifle to clean it, which is pretty easy. Of course, the rifle is unloaded. We shot it in the field. To take the barrel off, first of all, what we're going to do is remove the ramrod. Now it has a wedge pin in the side of the rifle. Right here, that's the back side of the pin. It's the front side of the wedge. So what we're going to do is we're going to push that out. Tap it with the butt of a screwdriver. Turn it over. Just going to ease it out a little bit. Here's the pin. And then the barrel will slide right out of the lock. You can see it hooks into the lock. You can see the fouling on it there from the shot. There's the touch hole that I was talking about. Now I have a large touch hole in this. If I can get it to focus. There we go. I have an oversized touch hole in this gun. So you can see it's really, really large. So it lets a lot of powder burn through that hole and gives me a better ignition. This is the hook on the end of the barrel. This is a permanently fixed breech plug. That's where the end of the barrel is, right there, and then the rest is breech plug. And I'm going to take that touch hole out so we can clean it out. Now to take the lock off of the gun, let's see if I can get this in. This is the lock. This is the action of the gun, which obviously attaches to the trigger. You see this trigger adjustment screw in there to adjust the trigger if I want to do that. But it has a screw here on this side. So what we're going to do is undo that screw. Switch my screwdriver. Gonna undo that. That screw does not need to be really tight. If you over tighten it, it will snap. Take that out with the washer. I turn it over, and then the lock is going to lift out of the side of the gun. Just like that. And there's the internal workings of the lock. This is your trigger bar, and your sear, and then your spring. And that's how the arm works. So we're going to clean all this and make sure it's spotlessly clean, because like I said, black powder will corrode very, very easily. Now we're ready to clean it. I'm going to take the touch hole out here. Okay, we're going to use an Allen key. This touch hole has an Allen key fitting in it. Screw it out. And then there's the touch hole. You can see how big of an inlet it has there. Actually, you can see the light right through it. So this is much larger than a regular touch hole. Now that leaves the breech of my gun open, so we can clean it. There we go. And what we're going to use to clean the barrel, we're going to use the ramrod. Actually, here's some. When I cleaned it in the field, like I mentioned, I was going to clean the gun quickly before I took it home. These are the patches that I took out of it. So you can see how much dirt comes from the barrel. You want to get that out of your gun as quickly as you can, because it will corrode the barrel. You don't want that. Obviously, it's going to degrade your accuracy and reduce the life of your barrel. What we're going to use is I'm going to use a ramrod to clean it. Now, this is a modern ramrod. I do have the original ramrod for the gun, and it's wooden. The only problem with that is that wooden ramrods have a tendency to snap in very, very, very cold temperatures. So you have to be very careful using wooden ramrods. This one is aluminum. It's made by Thompson Center. This gun is also made by Thompson Center. They make really, really, really good muzzleloading rifles. They can be difficult to get in flintlocks. Thompson Center makes them, Traditions makes them, Lyman makes them. And like I said, sometimes they're pretty tough to find. flintlock. Percussion guns you can get easily. Inline rifles, of course, you can buy relatively easily, but the flintlocks can be pretty tough. They do also make a flintlock. Traditions, I believe, makes it. It's called a PA pellet rifle, which is a modern flintlock muzzleloading rifle. It doesn't use a barrel like this. It uses a barrel that's got a removable breech plug, and it also has a specially shaped touch hole so that it actually can use pellets, compressed pellets that you would use in an inline muzzleloader. And then it still uses the flint ignition, so it's legal for the muzzleloading flintlock season in Pennsylvania. Has to be a flintlock ignition. It cannot be a percussion cap ignition or an inline ignition. But they do make a rifle specifically for that. So to clean this out, we're going to use regular arsenal patches. And the jag here that I have, you can see how it's discolored from the black powder, you know, being on it. This is actually brass, and it just screws into the tip of the rod. There's threads on it in here. It screws in there. So you can put different attachments on the ramrod. Now the other end of the ramrod, it's just gripped. It's also got a threaded hole in the bottom of it. So I could actually have a T-handle that screws into the bottom of the ramrod. That's going to help me. Okay, here's my T-handle. That's going to screw it together, like so. Now what we're going to do, if I can show you on the video here, we're going to place the patch. What I'm going to do is submerge this end of the barrel, where the touch hole is. I'm going to place the whole end of the barrel sitting straight up like this in boiling hot water, in a tub of like a bucket of boiling hot water. Then I'm going to use the ramrod and the patch to draw the water in and out of the barrel, and I'm actually going to flush the whole barrel out. That is the easiest way to clean it, and I'm going to demonstrate how we do that. Okay, this water's been boiling for quite a while. It's well hot enough. You do want the water hot. The hotter it is, the better. Now, I know from experience that this is going to be hot enough that it'll burn my hand. Now, what you want to do is place the end of the rifle into the boiling water. And the other end of what we're going to do is put the patch on. That's going to cause a seal. We're going to put the jag in it like so, and push this down into the barrel. And what it's going to do is going to push the air out the hole. Just want to be careful you don't get sprayed with it. Push it all the way to the bottom. Now when I pull it back up, it's actually going to suck the hot water, very hot water, up the barrel. And then when I push it down, it's going to push all the dirt right back out. What I'm mostly concerned about is the breech plug area. This is the easiest way to do it. Black powder is water soluble, and it will break down with water. Now the reason I'm using the very hot water is that when I'm done flushing it through, it's so hot it's going to evaporate right off the barrel. It won't lay in there, it won't stay in there. I mean, we're going to clean it with oiled patches and stuff too, especially for storage, but this is how to flush it. You get a good siphon on the barrel, and then I'll bring it up a little bit more, and I can actually see the water swirling around inside the bucket. So that way I know there's the water just coming out the tip of the barrel. That way I know I'm getting a good clean on it. Once it starts moving real smoothly like that, you know pretty much all the fouling is gone out of it. There's some more. Just got to be careful, like I said, because this water is very, very hot. Now I can feel that barrel is very hot to the touch. It's like touching a hot saucepan. Take the rest of the water out of there. While I'm going to do is pull the jag out. And that barrel is pretty clean. Just mop off the excess water. And actually you can see, I don't know whether you can see that on the camera, but I can see the water steaming off the end of the barrel. And the barrel is hot now, but you can see how much there's this steam coming out of it. You can see how much cleaner there is. There's no fouling on it, and that is the quickest and easiest way to flush black powder out of a barrel. That's the way to do it. Just regular boiling water. Like I said, you want to make sure it's nice and hot so that it doesn't stay on your gun. You can see that I just had that in there, and already that barrel is dry because the water was nice and hot, so it just evaporates right off of it. You can see the patch here. You can see obviously the dirt that it removed out of the barrel. A lot of it was washed into the bucket because the siphoning action is flushing that fouling out of the rifling. It's very important to clean, because I can't take the breech plug out of the gun. It's very important to clean all that fouling out of the breech plug area and the area where the touch hole is. You do not want rust and corrosion in there, because then the gun will not fire properly if it has rust build up in around the touch hole. We can take this back now. Back over to the workbench. Okay, now that we've let the rifle cool down a little bit, that we can handle it a little easier, what we're going to do is we're going to run some patches through it. Now ordinarily I would do this when the rifle is standing up, but I want to be able to show it to you when I'm doing it here on the bench. You shoot black powder, you're going to use a lot of these. These are just regular US Arsenal cleaning patches. They're pretty thick. You're only going to use them one time, one and done. Now there's all sorts of cleaning products that they sell for black powder. Thompson Center of course makes their own. Forget that in the light there. TC original number 13 bore cleaner. This one is from CVA. It's a barrel blaster. It's a gel. It's actually a gel they put on the patch. This is from Butch's Bore Shine. Guaranteed to clean faster and easier. These are actually pre-lubed patches. Comes with they come soaked in a cleaning solution. Again by Thompson Center. These are pretty convenient for the field. If you're taking these with you in your bag, or I carry a box of tools in my truck in case I need to do something to the rifle in the field. I can do that. You can make your own cleaning solution. You can see this one is separated because I had it sitting. This is a mixture. It's 1/3 rubbing alcohol, 1/3 hydrogen peroxide, and then 1/3 Murphy's Wood soap, the oil soap. That is basically black powder solvent. So you can make your own. If you're going to use it for Pyrex or 777, I would also add a couple of tablespoons full of vinegar. Vinegar will help clean the 777 powder better than, this is just for regular black powder. If you're going to use it for 777 or Pyrex, then I would use the vinegar in it as well. So you can make your own. I make my own because I use a lot of it, or you can buy the commercial stuff from the store. Either one is going to do the same job. So what you're going to do to get your patch, you're going to put the patch, I'll put my barrel on the mat, put the patch over the end of the barrel. Now what we're going to do with the patch is we'll soak it with the cleaning solution. Actually, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put my touch hole right here and I'm going to soak that in the solvent. Just let it sit there and soak. And what I'm going to do is going to wet some of my patches down here so that they have the cleaning solution on it. Now we're going to put the patch on the end of the barrel. Ramrod jag. I'm going to push all the way to the end. It will be tight. Pull all the way back out. Now you can see how much fouling, and that's after I ran the water through it. You see how much fouling is still in there? But it actually, the water helped that fouling break down, so it's going to make it come off that barrel much, much easier. I'm going to use some of these. I'm going to soak a couple more of these. Like I said, you're going to use a lot of patches because it takes some work to clean these guns properly, and you have to make sure that they are clean. I mean, I'm not talking a week. This, if I didn't clean this out, it would rust in a day. Now you see, the cleaner it gets, the easier it's going to go up and down the barrel. See, that one is just as dirty. But what they will progressively do is it will, the more I do this, they will get cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. See how much easier now it's going down? And then our fouling is getting less and less and less. You can see it here getting lighter and lighter and lighter. So you can see that slowly but surely going away. Now I'm going to continue this. I'm going to run a bunch of patches through it on that barrel is spotlessly clean, and then I'll switch it back on. I'm going to make you watch that.